welcome to the Ghana Ely News Broadcasting. This month we've been privileged to meet with one of the founding fathers of Pentecostalism here in Italy, and he's no other person than Apostle Nana Abu Bonsra, Nana Abu Bonsra. So help me to welcome Apostle Nana Abu Bonsra.
Thank you.
I'm so much privileged, when I heard that you were in Italy, I could not believe, and then you called to say that you've seen what the Ghana Ely News Network is all about, and you accepted our invitation. Thank you so much. Many of you know you as a founding father of Pentecostalism, but practically know nothing about you except what they themselves think they know. And so you've been a top personality profile. Now we're going to take you back to 30 years ago, as you said. You came to Italy, when you came, how you came, blah, 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 etc., etc.,
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to really talk with you, and especially for those who are listening. We pray, our concern is that what we discuss today will be a blessing to somebody. In fact, I'm so personally privileged to talk to special people like you who are doing a great job here. My concern is how best we can expose what God has done through people like us over the years. And to begin with, we have actually been the people, not actually the pioneers, but we built together. And I owe every respect for many other people who worked with us, those who supported us and did a very great job. But in every group work, there should be somebody who has a part to play in a special way. My job was to really encourage people who have traveled from home and were so disappointed or did not know what to do. And that moment we didn't have churches, that moment we didn't have any hope. And that was the time that I had the courage to really encourage people, irrespective of where they come from. So my concern was to build up people's courage, boldness, and let them know that it is possible. Apart from hearing the word of God, we should also activate the personal determination in our hearts. And so that is when we began this kind of work.
That is when the ministry began?
Yeah, no, that's when my personal influence began. Actually got
so it was about personal things, doing even before ministry was
there. That's right. In fact, I got here in May 1984, and I got through this place with the intention of staying for a moment so that I can go to Britain or United States for further studies. So my intention was to really settle a little bit and then go to school, because my concern was to study. A call who did the film, we worked together. Love Root African
Koansa.
Yeah, Koansa. I really worked with him for
in Ghana
1 year. So we did the projecting, the screen, background, and some work, in the preparation of that thing. And he was the one who actually took the photograph when we were wedding. He was my.
Oh, really? When did you get married to Mama Sally?
That was 1978.
Not 18.
No, 1978. And so he came as my boss, and he was so interested, and he took some pictures, and we really had a very good relationship. So he was my boss for many years, and every time I remember what he said to me, there were so many things I learned from him. So,
Apostle, I also know that you were a professor or something like that.
Yes. Actually, what I did was that after doing my national service and working with called Koansa. I went to Nigeria and then I taught in that high school, because it's a college. So I was the one in charge of the design department, and I was teaching English and art together. And we have other people also doing different things, but I taught over there for quite some time. It was 5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got married in Ghana,
Yes.
left for Nigeria
Yes.
for 5 years.
Yes.
But I know you have 4 girls, so
Yes.
when were they born?
Yeah, one was born just after the wedding. I think the following year we had the first one
In Ghana.
in Ghana.
Okay.
And it's so funny, because I had then been sent to Nigeria to do a work for my boss at Kwanzaa. So mine was to supervise the finishing of the African embassy in Lagos. And we had to do the design and do the ceiling and the interior design. So I came back from there. So I spent about 8 months going back and forth. And so when my wife was pregnant, I wasn't around. Actually, she had to carry the baby alone. And, I would just pop in for a weekend and go back. And so when I visited finally.
So you were able to just visit. It wasn't a 5-year stay, a continuous stay.
No.
Coming.
The first year, in fact, before the baby was born, I came twice.
Okay.
Came twice from Lagos. And then also, after the baby, the following, I think the second year, she joined me in Nigeria.
Oh, really?
So we were in Nigeria. She was there in 81. I was in
81.
81. So I was in Nigeria 78 and came back 79 and then went back to teach in 79 and then she joined me in 81.
What was she doing? I know she's a cateress or something like
Yeah,
that.
she actually after coming, she settled down and was teaching. She was teaching.
Oh, she was also a teacher.
Yeah, because she was a trained teacher.
Ah,
From
okay.
Monica. So
Okay.
she really worked as a primary school teacher in Warri, in Bendel State, the former Bendel State. So she was teaching and I was teaching. And the two of us, So then we had the 2 girls. We had the second one and the third one.
Apostle, you said you came to Italy in 1980. I'm thinking of from Nigeria to Italy. Did you ever dream?
Well, it wasn't actually a planned thing. What really happened was that I had gone to London. I was repatriated, and in fact, from that discouragement, I really wanted to get back to Ghana. And a friend told me that it's better I make another move, and I came to Italy.
In 1984, because I know people started migrating to the north from, I think,
89.
Yes,
Yeah.
so 1984, where did you first land?
I landed in Naples. And
Okay.
from Napoli, I really lived like a Neapolitan. And
Okay.
so that's where I lived.
Can you please tell us a little about your stay in Naples? You stayed there for how long? For 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, I stayed there
5 years?
I stayed there for 3 years.
And what were you doing there?
I was working in the farms. Actually, in the farms, I was called Abbott.
My God, the professor working as a tomato picker.
That's right. And then I had to drive. They taught me how to drive the tractor and how to work with the pipelines and everything. So I had my boss.
Yet you had in mind that you were doing it to just get some funds to go outside Italy.
That's right. In fact, this is what I always tell people, that your dream may pass through circumstances, but you keep it. That time we had no documentation, we had nothing, but we still had a hope that we'll be able to continue the dream. So I think in 88, I got admission to a design school in Switzerland, so I left. And that was 86. 86.
You left from Italy to
I left
Switzerland?
yeah. So I went to Switzerland to, for school. That was design in a city called Montreal in Switzerland. And then I would come back for holidays, and that was.
But do you have a staying permit? How were you able?
Yeah, I had a student visa.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a student visa and stayed there for the first year. I was able to do the
From
first year.
86 to 88.
88, okay.
86 to 88.
No, that was 86 to 87.
86 to 87.
87. So I did my diploma course in design and came back when the documents were released in 87.
Okay.
87 ending. So I came back to do the documentation and then went back for the last term and then came back.
Okay. And then you migrated to
Italy.
Verona.
Okay, yeah. So from there I immigrated to Verona in 89.
Okay.
89. I lived in Mussolini.
Why did you choose Verona?
I didn't have any motive. But all I needed was to go to a northern city where I can find a job.
I think this is getting more. Just stay tuned. We'll be back shortly with Apostle Nana Abu Bonsra. Don't go away. You as Apostle Nana Abu Bonsra, and we arrived at where he migrated from Naples to Verona. And so, Apostle, you migrated to Verona. I want to ask, did you know that did you know that the future that was in store for you in Verona, because you never had any intention of staying in Italy? And look at what happened. You became the apostle of the land for 30 good years.
Yeah. What really happened was that I had a background which was very strong as a Christian in the church in Warri. So
I know. Is it the man you brought here?
That's right. So Papa Ayo was my pastor. I used to sing for him.
Oh, so you were a singer? You were a singer?
Yeah. I was in the choir. So,
do you know he's got 3 girls that started singing at a very young age? The wife is a singer, I have never seen you sing in these 30 years.
I sang in Naples choir, who were there, and I also sang with Papaya for quite a long time.
Right.
So he knows me as a singer and somebody in the
choir.
choir.
I can't believe it.
Yes. Okay, so actually I never had any specific intention of the ministry wise, but what I needed was that I still held my faith tight, because I had a very strong background. I believed in God and I believed in personal prayer. And so when we had a chance to go to the American church, Christ Gospel Church, eventually in Naples, when I came first, so from there we really developed this thing, and they got to know that I have a background, I knew the Lord already, and so there they made me a minister
in Naples.
Before I came to Verona, I was the associate pastor type of person.
Naples.
Yes. So that was where I began, and that was where I knew Bishop Oscar, and we were together in the same city.
Yes, at Naples.
All right.
Yes, we still want to know the 30 years journey. Yes, sir.
Well, I would say that the journey actually began when I got to Italy.
I mean, how did the ministry start? This big name you've got, Apostle Label. I mean, how did the Soul Clinic? That was the name of your church in Verona.
That's right. Yes. What really happened was that when we came to Verona, we came together to meet one or two people who had just left the Naples church. And so we teamed up together.
And who had also migrated?
Yeah, who had migrated to
Okay.
Verona. So you know how we connect ourselves together. And so from there, we became together and had a fellowship where about 5 people.
Where were you meeting?
We were meeting in Domiara in Verona.
I mean, in the building.
In
you know,
his
and
house.
then in Brescia, they were meeting.
You know, in his house. You know, in fact, it was his garage.
Whose garage?
The President Bishop Suglo. You know,
Okay.
his garage. So I was his Sunday school teacher in Naples and also associate pastor. So when he came, he had started family prayer and then we joined together. So that's how it began. And so in
when did you leave to form the
1990, I left from that church. You know,
what's the name of the church?
The church was Holy Fire.
It was that name.
That's
Okay.
right. So I left in 1990 and started the so-called ministry, and that is how.
This morning, a question. I mean, I had a puzzle. I said,
yeah.
From the time I came to Ely, that was in 1989. Your 4 girls were here. So I didn't know how. But you've never mentioned in your story. I'm not saying that you came with your children. So when did your wife join you? When did your children join you?
Actually, my wife joined.
Those were the days when men were living alone.
Yeah,
their wives were.
I lived alone, and that's why one of the things I personally acknowledge is living at the basic level with people. I behaved like I never knew anything. So we had a ghetto in Naples where about 10, 12 people were living together as single men. And all we needed was to get a place to
And you were there with them?
I was there with them. I was simple with them. Everybody, we were together as friends together. And from there, you know, when my wife came the following year, I think in 85, so my wife was to come, because I left my wife in Nigeria.
Certainly.
So she had to come to
with
join
a child.
Yeah, no. So she had to drop the 2 kids.
You had 2 children.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had to drop the 2 kids.
So the other 2 were birthed in Italy.
The other one was birthed.
Only one.
One was initially born in Ghana.
And then 2 in Nigeria.
And 2 in Nigeria.
And
so,
one in
so she brought the 2 from Nigeria to Ghana. And she came here alone.
With the 3? No. She came alone.
She came alone.
Okay.
So she came alone in 85.
Okay.
And then when we had the documentation, we decided to bring the 2 girls.
Oh, okay.
But the first one was brought earlier. The first or the senior one was brought earlier when we were alone. You know, so, and then in 86 we had the last one.
You look so young. Your first daughter is, I think, 32 years. She's married, and she, together with her husband, are now in charge of the Soul Clinic Church. Am I permitted to ask you your date of birth?
Yeah, I think with a special respect, I really normally don't tell many people, but I believe people have to know what God has done for me. I was born in 1949. September 1949, and so
the date
was 23rd of September 1949, and
you have the same date with my husband, and he's also called Nana.
Oh, good.
My God.
That's wonderful.
23rd September 1949.
49.
Where is that?
I was born in Ghana, of Finso.
So you are Ashanti.
That's right.
Okay. So, 30 years back, how was the church? How was the Ghanaian African community? And from that time up to this time, what can you say about that?
Yeah, there are 2 basic things that I can really talk about. Number one, The first church was a community church, a church that everybody belonged to everybody. And we were together as friends. There was no differentiation between age or tribe or anything. And we had an American pastor who really brought us all together. And then that developed a sense of belonging. We worked together, we lived together, we ate together, we had a lot of togetherness.
And you had no problem, if I may be permitted to ask, you are a university graduate with a degree, and we know our history. That was our history, that many that migrated to Italy were not really educated. You didn't have any problem with this. You didn't set yourself aside, not wanting to.
No, I think it's a matter of character, because I thank God I had a character of being with people. Because formerly in Nigeria I was a big man, had my own bungalow, had a gardener, had everything, had my own place. And then I moved to Italy and I'm now a farm boy. And I had to live with people. So I had to change my mind and begin to accept people as they are. And so in most cases I didn't even show to them who I was. They found out. So I think that's one of the big things that I thank God for. So that as a graduate and as somebody who is educated, I still love the people and still work with people together. And that's how I developed the sense of belonging till today.